Hello guys, today we're gonna talk about Vitalik Buterin. We're gonna decode his language. For those who don't know, he's Ethereum creator and one of the youngest and most talented people alive. Even though not many will agree with me right now, but that's what I think and that's what I'm gonna talk about. He made a presentation a couple weeks ago about how inefficient Ethereum and blockchain is, which amazes me when the the owner of Ethereum, the creator of Ethereum, criticizes his own product. That makes me think that he's a real leader, a person who is not afraid. I don't know many CEOs or owners of the big companies that criticizes their own cars and products, and I don't know, not too many. I haven't met any, but he's the one. He's the one. And also he doesn't just criticize it, he gives a lot of solutions how we can solve blockchain inefficiency. Because you will see there is a lot of inefficiency going on. Since his programming language is so high, it was really a little bit hard to understand him in the beginning, so it took me really a couple days to break down what he means. So I'm giving it to you today because maybe you guys don't have a couple days to break it down, maybe you don't understand his words like I didn't. And I still don't, to be honest, but I'll break it down and see if you guys like it. Continue to next. Why blockchains? Vitalik made two great points during this presentation: efficiency versus inefficiency. So I'm gonna break down those two terms, so when I'm gonna talk about them, it will be easier for you to understand and catch on what he means by that. So what is efficiency? Efficiency is an economic state at which each resource is optimally allocated to serve each individual in the best way while minimizing waste. Great example of it, again, I'm not going against governments, but taxes. Taxes, they create inefficiency, because when government charges business or individual certain amount of money to pay, then he could use this money for something else, like he could buy an ice cream or he could buy a car, but he didn't. So that business where he was going to go to, like ice cream business or to buy a car, is not gonna get efficiency through that customer. Second is inefficiency. Inefficiency is basically opposition of efficiency, is a failure to make productive use of resources. It's synonymous with waste. Basically just opposite. Great example of when you have a factory and you buy supplies for your factory, any kind of supplies for any kind of factory, and you're not buying at lowest price. So it means you're spending more money than you could save or use for something else. So that's what's inefficiency. So those two major points will be going through the whole presentation: efficiency versus inefficiency. Stay tuned. Later on in the presentation, Vitalik breaks down the next thing: Ethereum versus traditional computer. Ethereum as a blockchain as a whole versus traditional computer that most of people have at home, like a desktop or laptop, and how inefficient Ethereum compared to just a regular basic traditional computer. So first example I'll give you, and he gives, it's very easy, it's a memory. You guys know what memory is? Your iPhone, Samsungs, they all have memories, right? So he talks about memory card that you can buy on Amazon for 250 gigabytes. It's gonna cost you only $80, and you can use it for your GoPro, for your camera, and for anything like that. And second thing, he talks about how much 250 gigs is gonna cost on Ethereum blockchain. You will be really shocked right now. It's gonna cost you $84 million to get a 250 gig on Ethereum blockchain. So it's 1 million less efficient than a regular traditional computer, which is, as of today, definitely people will use $80 versus $84 million. The second example he gives is Amazon EC2 platform. I didn't know what it is in the beginning, so that's why I'm here to break it down for you guys. EC2 platform is a virtual computing environment that enables customers to use web service to launch their operating systems and load them with their applications. Basically, you can build on it. So on Amazon, EC2 costs 4 cents per hour. On Amazon, he doesn't really break it down because it's hard to calculate. So what he does is he takes Amazon time that's gonna take you to build on it and how much it's gonna be. So it's 1,040,000 less efficient than Ethereum, less efficient than Amazon EC2 platform. So for those two, Ethereum is 1 million behind, and he also talks about this number, 1 million. Why 1 million less efficient? Is it like a magic number, or it's total coincidence, he says, and which is really interesting. Vitalik talks about if Ethereum blockchain is so inefficient, why people even still use it? Besides crypto fans and stuff like that. So first one is security. So government, Visa, banks, they cannot block your money. They cannot go to your Ethereum account and block it, unless it's an exchange, of course. But they cannot go to your personal wallet. While Visa, you guys can know, certain part of the world you cannot even pay with Visa because they block their service there. Governments, if you own money to IRS or ENIA, they can go into your account and block it, and you will not have access to it until your issue is resolved. Same things, banks can block your money, suspicion of fraud or something else. In Ethereum blockchains, nobody can do it. Second one is fraud security. The whole blockchain cannot be stolen or lost. Again, we talk about Ethereum right now, we don't talk about other bad examples. Third example is visibility. Everybody can see who sends fund to who. Yeah, there is no names, but there is a wallet address. And if you know wallet address and who it belongs to, you can see where the money went. Fourth example is toughness and stability. If computer shuts down in your house, and you guys, many of you, it happened to you guys, I'm sure you are writing some important paper and computer shuts down, what happened to it? Many of the times, sadly, it doesn't get saved. It's lost. You have to do it again. You have to retype it again. On a blockchain, if computer shuts down, there are a million other computers that support this blockchain. So your information will not get lost. Yeah. You cannot shut down the whole blockchain. Fourth example he gives is easy communications. So as you know, Facebook, Twitter, they can block your post, they can delete your post. They can do anything with your page if they want to on a blockchain. And if someone, and I'm sure someone will create a blockchain one day where you can interact with each other through blockchain like Facebook or Twitter, nobody can delete your post, nobody can shut you down unless they break down into your system and your password. That's it. So he talks how to make a blockchain more efficient if it's so inefficient from first two examples. So first he talks about sharding. Sharding, I had no idea what the hell that is, so that's why I'm here to break it down to you guys. So what is sharding? Sharding is breaking down large pieces of data is information, into smaller. So you guys know, if you're in school and you have to learn the whole book, it's going to be very hard. But if you go page by page each day, it's going to be so much easier. Same thing with studying the language and stuff like that. That's the first example. Second example is private channels. What is private channel? Basically, private channel, to break down it, make it a little bit easier, is when I message with someone else. Regular text message. I'm creating a private channel. I'm not posting on somebody's Facebook wall where everyone can see it and everyone has access to it. I'm sending a direct private message. Same thing with the blockchain. If you can build on a blockchain private messaging between each other, you can unload the whole blockchain and it's gonna make it more lighter. Third example, he doesn't talk about it, but it just comes from me. It's a Lightning Network. Basically, that's their main solution to make Bitcoin transaction faster. As you know right now, the Bitcoin is kind of slow when you send Bitcoin to each other, and it's costly. That's why Lightning Network is trying to really come up with solution that will change Bitcoin prices and speed of sending it to each other. Vitalik thinks after we do sharding, private channel, and let's say Lightning Network, blockchain will be still inefficient. It will be still more expensive to use it. It will be still harder to operate it. Then why use it then? So he gives a very complicated example, but I'll break it down to easier one. Many of you guys know, in US at least, Craigslist. It's a website where you can buy and sell stuff, most of the time locally, like cars, appliances, house supplies, anything used. So people to people. But to be honest, it's one of the ugliest and not user-friendly website I ever met in my life. That's what I say here. And it's hard to use, but people still use it. Why? Because stuff sells there. Even though people came up with an apps like OfferUp and LetGo and others, people still use Craigslist because stuff sells. Same thing with Ethereum. People still use it because they can get their job done. And as I mentioned before, security, fraud resistance, and many others advantages Ethereum has over a memory card. Imagine if you have a memory card on your phone or anything like that, somebody gets told they have access to your phone, to your pictures, anything like that. if it's on a blockchain and you lose your computer or your phone, it's still there and they cannot get in there unless they have your private key, but that's a different story. Not today. Vitalik keeps breaking down and keeps criticizing blockchain problems. So confirmation time, what it is, it's when you send transaction to someone, it takes a long time to confirm. When you pay with your Visa, right, in your store, it takes 2-3 seconds to go through authorization, sometimes 5 seconds maybe. But so in Ethereum, it takes 14 seconds for one confirmation. On centralized, it takes 200 milliseconds, I don't know. I think it's 0.2 seconds, so it's super fast and efficient. Second thing is less privacy. People seek your wallet balance. If I know your wallet on Ethereum, I can go and check out how much money you got. If I know your bank account, I cannot do it. Bank will not disclose it to me. Second thing, loss of funds. I cannot, if I lose the funds or if somebody gets my private key and steals money from my wallet, there is nobody to call. Even though I call Vitalik, I cannot reimburse this money. But if it happens with the bank, as you guys know, sometimes your cards get stolen and stuff like that, it's easy to call and get your money back. Bank guarantees it, bank provides it. Ethereum or other blockchains as of now don't have this option. They cannot reimburse your money. So Vitalik gives couple 2-3 solutions to what can we do to make it better. So state channels, as we talk about it, it is kind of a private message you create between two parties, and you don't go on the blockchain. You don't post on each other wall in Facebook so everybody can see it. You do it privately, and then once you guys came to some agreement or you made some business deal, then you can post it on a wall in Facebook where everyone can see it and access it. Second thing, it's plasma cash, small pieces data on the chain. So he gives example, if exchange gets hacked, they cannot steal the funds because it's going to be small pieces of data. They don't have the whole picture, so they cannot steal it. They might shut down the exchange for a week or two, but they cannot steal your funds. And thank you everyone. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. It's ELEV8Crypto Agency Incorporated. Thank you again, guys. Have a great day. I'll be back.